Today to our actual dedication of our World Trade Center artifact that we were able to acquire through the cooperation of Concord Fire and Life Safety and the city government of the town or city of Concord. I would like to recognize some of our guests. We've invited Mr. Scott Padgett, the mayor. We also have invited Mr. Brian Hyatt, city manager, and each of our city council members, Mr. David Phillips, Mr. Jim Ramsour, Ms. Ella Mae Small, I believe she's here, Mr. Alfred Brown, Mr. Lamar Barrier, thank you for being here, Mr. Hector Henry. I spoke with him yesterday. I don't believe he will be here, but he sent his congratulations and his regrets for not being able to be here, and Mr. John Sweat. At any rate, thank you, all of those of you that could make it today. We also invited Dr. Shepard, Superintendent of Cabarrus County Schools, Dr. Sane, our Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction, and we have with us, I know, Mrs. Lisa Conger. She's here. And we also invited our Board of Education members, Ms. Holly Blackwelder, good to see you here today, Mr. Blake Tiger, Ms. Carolyn Carpenter, Ms. Cindy Furtenbaum, Mr. Tim Furr, Ms. Grace Minot, and Mr. Lynn Shue. We thank you all for coming, and we're looking forward to this ceremony and dedicating our piece of the World Trade Center. At this time, we will go ahead and have a tribute and song by the Concord High School Chorus led by Mr. Mark Lawson. Now we will have the presentation of the colors by the Concord High School Fire Academy Honor Guard, led by Captain Amber Klein.
Honor Guard, forward march, left, left.
Present arms.
Thank you. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, this day, this possibility to have a piece of the World Trade Center would absolutely not have happened if it were not for the efforts of the gentlemen that command and direct the operations of the Concord Department of Fire and Life Safety. Chief Ray Allen and I had spoken about this a while back when I first came on board here at Concord High School about the possibility of getting a piece of the World Trade Center. And with the blessings of Chief Holloway and with the efforts of Chief Allen, we were able to make that happen. And it was actually these gentlemen right here that I did not mention in my welcome that actually were the ones that got the piece of the World Trade Center for Concord, which was dedicated and unveiled yesterday, and this piece for the Fire Academy. Chief Allen, would you care to come up and make a few comments or remarks about how the process went? Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me to this dedication ceremony. As Chief Barlow already indicated, approximately, it's been about this time last year, it's been over a year, he and I spoke about the possibility of being able to secure pieces of the World Trade Center for the Academy and for the City of Concord. And Chief Barlow, I think at the time, was unsure as to whether the Fire Academy would qualify as an agency that could apply for it. It needed to be a public safety agency to apply for it. So I contacted the Port Authority of New Jersey, New York. They were happy to send me the applications. They advised me that I could apply for a piece for another agency, provided that I could assure them that it was going to be displayed and handled in a manner that was respectful to the event that it represents. There was a lengthy application process. There was a long period where we didn't hear anything. I guess they had several hundred or maybe thousands of applications to go through. Finally, they did contact us that we had been awarded 2 pieces. The only cost for the piece of steel was that we had to pay for the shipping. They guaranteed me it would not be more than $75. I want to say up front, I don't work for UPS. I don't have any family members that work for UPS, but UPS shipped this for $25. So they obviously pitched in this effort. So a contract came for us to sign, and really the extent of that contract, the only thing that they were asking is that we guaranteed them that we wouldn't sell it for scrap, they wouldn't find it on eBay, and it would be dealt with in a respectful manner. So once we got that information back, got the information to ship it, it showed up. I don't remember the exact date. Chief Barlow probably does, and he'll probably comment on it, but it was maybe the last week of school, I believe, Chief.
It was, I believe it was May 22nd.
Yeah, I had a feeling you know the exact date. It was close to the end of school, so as soon as it showed up, shipped to Station 3. We got it unbundled. I loaded it in my vehicle and had it here within 45 minutes, I believe, of the time that it was received. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your efforts on that, and I really do thank you for that. As many of you know, we've all seen it on the television. We've seen it in our community. We've seen it in many communities. It's been on the news for at least the last week and probably longer. 10 years ago, America sustained the worst terrorist attack in the history of the country, killing 2,977 men, women, and children. Each of their names is displayed on this flag behind our piece of the World Trade Center. The attack was carried out in a manner intended to inflict more than human loss and physical destruction. The shocking sight of passenger planes being slammed into buildings was a calculated act of psychological terror meant to instill great fear, panic, and uncertainty. Instead, the country reacted with courage, compassion, and moral clarity. The enduring legacy of that day is the remarkable heroism and generosity of the American people. When thousands of our fellow human beings were killed in a barbaric act of raw religious extremism, unlike this country had ever seen, Americans did not turn outward with hatred or violence. Instead, we turned to each other, armed with nothing more than American flags and countless acts of kindness. In our darkest hour, human decency triumphed over human depravity. No reflection about 9/11 and the nation's response to that day is complete without recognition of the commitment, accomplishments, and heroic sacrifices of our military forces. When the plane struck on 9/11, thousands of these American patriots left their civilian jobs, suspended their college studies, put their plans on hold, and left their families to enlist and to defend liberty far from home. In all the years since 9/11, they have carried the heaviest burden without complaint or expectation of personal reward. The American military has never taken down the flags of September 11th or forgotten that day. Thanks to the hard work and sacrifice of our military and intelligence officers, Al-Qaeda has suffered major blows, and we have scored a number of victories in the war on terror. We must not forget, however, that America still faces grave threats from terrorists around the world. If we have any members of the United States military, any veterans in the audience, will they please stand and be recognized at this time? Gentlemen, we wish to thank you for your service. We pledge that we will never forget all of the friends and families who were lost to such an unspeakable act of evil. We also ask that you keep all of the victims and survivors of that terrible day in your thoughts and prayers, as well as the great men and women who continue to serve our great nation. I came across this quote during the past week, and I've embraced it, and I think it might be the central theme of our ceremony today. And it is this: a people, a nation, any nation, is known by what they choose to remember. There is now a new normal, pre-9/11 and post-9/11. Now that we've had 10 years pass since September 11th, 2001, we now have a new generation, the 9/11 generation. These students to my left, these students at the rear of the assembly, these students were between the ages of 4 and 6 years of age when this attack on American soil happened. It may be hard to hear, but it is necessary to remember in order to help us remain vigilant and keep the promises we made to each other in the days after the attacks. I do believe that each and every September 11th must always be considered a national day of remembrance, in order for us to continue our nation's oral history and to pass the torch of vigilance. It is said regarding history that those who choose to ignore history are condemned to repeat it. With the unveiling and the dedication of this piece of history, we are one step closer to ensuring that our generation and those generations that follow will always remember. Honor Guard, if you will step forward. Flag step forward for the unveiling. This piece of the World Trade Center will remain in this location for the remainder of the school day for teachers and students and any guests to view. After its viewing today, at the end of the school day, it will be removed and placed in the Fire Academy, where it will be posted in front of the memorial wall as its permanent place of honor. Thank you very much. Again, thank all of you for coming. Thank our guests. Thank you, Concord Fire and Life Safety representatives. And again, all of the teachers, all of the students are welcome to come by. We will keep the Honor Guard on the case until this afternoon when we remove it. Again, this concludes our ceremony. Thank you so much for your attendance.